you can find more and more of this peak cognition and peak emotion, and it can be practiced. Our topic today on Mental Fitness Fridays, mental fitness versus mental health. And like we did last week, we got a chance to go over proactive versus reactive, right? The intention that you get to have in mental fitness versus the reactivity that happens in mental health. And today we're going to another topic. We get a chance to do enhancement versus maintenance. Mental fitness, the enhancement piece. Mental health, the maintenance piece. And so as we're jumping into this topic today, we're going to keep defining these pieces. So one of them is in mental fitness. We're looking at, in the enhancement place, what peak cognition can be for you and emotion can be for you. That's what mental fitness focuses on. It's this growth that you get to go through. And it keeps on happening and it keeps on changing. And I'll get to some reasons why I think that can be like so energizing, and part of why I love talking about it. But right, mental fitness, again, peak cognition and emotion. That's what you're looking for in mental fitness. That's the enhancement, the growth. While mental health is focusing on maintenance, maintaining a baseline. Right? Maintaining our baseline functioning. And some of the difference that I hear in both of those has to do with where mental fitness is that peak aspect, that growth aspect. Mental health has this aim to it, this feel to it that talks about this is where we're headed. This is the goal, is when we have a certain amount of mental health. And that, I think, is unrealistic. You know, it can bring about some of the feel that we are supposed to be at this one spot. Defined by who? That's a great question. I have had such a hard time defining normal, right? And mental fitness is different, right? Mental fitness has this growth to it. It has the ability to change, right? And when you're changing, to me, you have that spot of control a little bit more. You have the hope that things keep moving. It's not a destination. It's not a result. And that's a hard one for me because, right, whether it's growing up as the athlete and recognizing that the scoreboard is really the result. It's the outcome. And that's okay that that's there to shoot for the win and the loss. You know, there has to be rules. There has to be things defined in that. But when that becomes the all-encompassing, that's more harmful than it is healthy. And really what you're looking at is the growth and the journey, right? That's the therapist coming out in me, but it's really how mental fitness brings about the options of change as you go through it. That you can find more and more of this peak cognition and peak emotion, and it can be practiced. Therefore, maybe when you run into things like life and needing to be resilient in life, you've been practicing it. You know, it happens. But the end goal is not, this is mental health. It really is the activity in mental fitness. It's the constant, it's the growth that can happen and occur. When I've gone through, you know, some of the trauma trainings as well as with others and seen how literally our neural networks change and how incredible that is. And really that is something that is worth finding and it's worth pursuing. It's that ability to change, versus I have arrived. I can recognize the journey. Like for me, becoming a therapist, that wasn't on my radar, right? Collegiate athlete, ending that career, going from a business degree. I was involved in a church for a period of time and then kind of stumbled upon, right, therapy. And I said, oh, okay, let's give this a shot. I'm not quite sure how it's going to end up, but let's give it a shot. And it was a constant growth and it was a constant changing. I mean, from school, right? I had to go back to get a psychology credit. I remember doing that. I had to then go through my master's degree, papers to grading to all kinds of things to my internships. You know, you graduate and then you hit internships and you're developing and gaining hours as you go through. And you're constantly growing to where then I look at it now and I look to see that I'm in my own private practice, right? I am doing this podcast and talking about a topic that I am passionate about, like mental fitness. And that to me, I look back and I see that growth that's happened over the years. And it's something that provides a little more hope for the future, even though the future can be overwhelming, right? And I can feel that. And so that's one thing that I wanted to just hone in on in more of these differences, enhancement versus maintenance, right? We talked about proactive versus reactive. And as we continue to get into some of these definitions, it's just really cool to be able to find how mental fitness, to me, just makes more and more sense of a focus, of something that can build life resilience, right? And increase your satisfaction, your happiness in life. It has that potential. One of the things I'm going to leave you with, right? Got to leave you with something. And a practice that has been helpful, I've been doing recently, but I want to challenge you and I want to challenge myself to, is intentional journaling. If you got a chance to see an episode with Jamal Jones, he referred to journaling as the pen and paper, the action of writing something down and how that can imprint the potential action. And I think there's something to that. And so what I want to try is a challenge for 10 days, writing one intention the night before for the next day. That's it, right? For 10 days, try to write one intention that you might have for the next day. And then after those 10 days, taking a look, being curious, not judgmental, about what those intentions were and how they happened. And I think it'd be interesting that with the movement and the intention behind it and the enhancement behind it, I think it's got potential to happen. I'm excited about it. I hope you are excited about it as well. Remembering that, you know, some of those intentions can be something along the lines of, I want to go for a walk tomorrow. I want to breathe tomorrow. I want to, I don't even know. I want to practice some of my yin yoga tomorrow. There's so many ideas that are there, but just focusing on one intention. Give it a shot and let me know what happens. I'm excited to hear. With that, also reminding that you can reach out to me either on johnsteeletherapy.com. You can reach out to me on the Facebook links that you see below. You can reach out to me and comment on YouTube, and look for as well that Facebook group starting up. Remember to be curious, stay curious without judgment. Until next time. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey through mental fitness stories with John Steele. If you resonated with today's episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform of your choice. Remember, your story is important, and so is your mental well-being. If you have a personal mental fitness journey you'd like to share or topics you'd like us to explore in future episodes, reach out to us on social media or through our website. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations, expert insights, and practical tips to help you cultivate a resilient mind. Until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your inner dialogue, and prioritize your self-care. Remember, you are not alone, and your mental fitness and well-being is worth the investment. Thanks for being a part of the Mental Fitness Stories community.